James Bond.
Good evening, Mr. Bond fans, and welcome to yet another episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. I am your host and master of ceremony for this evening, Special Agent 006, Joseph Henry Rennick. You know what that means? It means I'm one shot at the big time.
In Soviet Russia, satellite launches you! Hi, I'm Vitaly Smirnov. Ready to talk about GoldenEye.
The name's Kraft. Tanner Kraft.
I'm Special Agent 009, bleeding out in a clown costume.
I feel like that's a plot point of the Woody Allen Casino Royale.
It's Octopussy, baby.
Yeah.
Octopussy.
Hello, I'm Cody Suizo. I may be shaken, but I'm certainly not stirred. Hello.
Hell
I'll stir you.
Please don't. But if you couldn't tell by all of the James Bond-related puns that we've been making, today we're talking about a very special film. This movie that we're talking about, it turns the same age I'll be turning here in a couple months, not even a couple, like a month and a half at this point. No, 2 months, because today's the 12th that we're recording. It's GoldenEye, baby. It turns 30 this year. It's one of the better James Bond movies, one of the more beloved James Bond movies. But before we get on to talking about GoldenEye, we're gonna start with the warm-up question. There have been, as one of the, I think it was Timothy Dalton or Pierce Brosnan, one of the two said this. There have been more people that have played James Bond than have been on the moon. I don't know how factually true that is now, but I'm pretty sure that is accurate. But there's been a lot of people that have played James Bond, and the people have their favorites. So I kind of want to have a quick roundtable discussion with the opening question. Who's your favorite James Bond? Ethan, you've got a lot of really good insights about James Bond. We'll start with you.
Yeah, I've only been a very recent convert. For clarity's sake, before 2025, the only James Bond material I had experienced was Die Another Day and like the first half, I think, of Goldfinger. And now I've seen all the films, like half of them twice. I read all of the original Ian Fleming novels. I read like the first several years of the comic strip and Takao Saito manga. And so, a bunch of crap. So I'm reasonably well versed in James Bond now. But in terms of favorites, it's really difficult to pick one. I mean, there's so many great options. Peter Sellers, David Niven, Ursula Andress.
God damn it, this is going to be my bit. I was literally going to just start reading off the cast of the 1967 Casino Royale. God damn it.
None of those, actually. That movie's truly dreadful.
Yeah, but Orson Welles is kind of funny in it.
Not be funny. Right? Maybe? I don't know. Seriously, though, it is hard to pick. I have a handful of favorites, but if I had to narrow it down to just one, it would probably be George Lazenby, who only starred in one film, but not one film. He demonstrated a lot more versatility than I think a lot of the other Bond actors. On some level, I realize this is almost sort of the standard issue hipster pick, but I just have to go with where my heart says. He steps into the role incredibly, after Sean Connery had just sort of bloated into kind of middle age in real time in his run, particularly after just the absolutely dire You Only Live Twice. He brings a wider range of emotions to Bond, humanizing him while still imbuing him with incredible charm and physicality that really distinct to his performance for a while. Connery had some incredible moments. I don't want to just completely discount him for some of those later entries, but Dr. No, the prison escape sequence in that one is really good and always sticks out in my mind. Lazenby sets himself apart just immediately. The frenetic action of the film, of his sole film outings, opening that leads into probably my personal favorite, Gun Barrel, where he just really fluidly drops to one knee and fires in one single movement. A genuinely charming comic performance is Sir Hilary, which has aged kind of poorly, pretty poorly, but I imagine in the hands of literally anyone else, like Connery, and it's like, oh, this would be dire with them. Moore as well, I don't think could really do it, or would really feel comfortable doing it on some level. The shocking vulnerability he displays when he's rescued by Tracy, his acrobatics as he escapes Blofeld's mountain fortress, the tenderness when parting with Moneypenny towards the end of the film, and that gut-wrenching finale that really, like, what the one time for a while that Bond is called upon to indulge in a sort of tragic ending. In his single film, he leaves a greater impact than Moore does in 7 different films. Without that, again, that degradation and sort of bloated, sleepwalking old age Connery suffers from, particularly in You Only Live Twice. If Australia has their own Jean-Paul Belmondo, it's George Lazenby, and I mean that sincerely and with the highest possible praise.
Hell yeah. Wonderful thoughts, Ethan. Wonderful thoughts. Cody, we're going with the youngin' next. Who's your favorite Bond?
Well, you see, Joe, I judge every living and non-living person the exact same way. Have they appeared on a Nintendo 64 cartridge? And let me tell you something, brother.
I suppose.
He's appeared on 2 of them. Pierce Brosnan is my answer. And that's really all I could say, because otherwise I have to talk about the movie, and we're not doing that part yet. So, this game's still really good. I don't care what people say. It doesn't age the best, but, like, it's still a really good game. That's my answer, Joe. So
all 7 frames per second of it.
It's not that slow. It runs great.
There's
It
a mod
runs
you
fine.
did for Project
Yeah.
64 where it has point and click controls on like a computer, and it's like playing a new game. Perfect Dark also has the same mod. I highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah, especially on like Switch and
Dark
Xbox. and
better
stuff.
game. What? I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
That's the one that
Obviously.
actually runs with terrible frame rate on original hardware. Tanner, let's be honest.
It does.
No, it
Perfect
absolutely
Dark.
no. Neither the
Unplayable.
listen, like the latter half of Rare's N64 output all kind of runs terribly on the hardware that it was designed on.
They were too
That's
good.
right, James Bond.
Yeah.
James Bond.
All right. Well, good pick, Cody. Austin, it's like much like Ethan. You have some very dignified answers and well-researched thoughts. Why don't we go with you next?
I'm nowhere near in the same league as Ethan, but mine is also Pierce Brosnan. Have any of you bastards heard Brosnan's weird, like, Bond-related coincidence that kind of tied him to the property 80 years ago? Any of you heard this story yet?
I have.
Ooh.
I think I might have. I'll let you explain it.
In 1945,
Get this. So, there's this crazy kind of JFK and Lincoln thing where Pierce Brosnan left Ireland and arrived in Britain on August 12th, 1964. And crazy enough, Ian Fleming died on that same exact day that Pierce Brosnan came to town. And the first time Brosnan saw a movie in London, it was Goldfinger, which left a huge impression on him when he was like 11. Some could say it was fate. In fact, I would say it was fate because I'm biased, and I like the cut of his jib. It's nothing too complex. I think he looks, sounds, and acts like Bond, which nobody else really pulls off in my opinion. Like, you've got other actors who can look like Bond, sound like Bond, or act like Bond in some combination, but Pierce is the only one who did all 3. That said, it is a goddamn shame that it was all downhill after GoldenEye. So, like, in the minds of the fans, like, Daniel Craig was probably a more rewarding Bond, and of course Connery was the original, and he had a few great pictures himself, but you can't change that something really special happened when Pierce Brosnan put on the suit. You know? That's my answer. Back to you, Joe. Fuck up
Hell
my nap.
yeah. All right, my time to shine. Okay, so I wanted
There
to
we
see how
go!
you'd react. Tanner, we'll go with you next. Who's your favorite James Bond?
you know,
And that's all for Tanner. I'm just kidding. Go on ahead.
it's kind of like asking me which one of my children is my favorite. In the sense that I clearly have a favorite no matter how much I tell people I don't. And my favorite child is Daniel Craig. I know that's the new one. That's the guy that technically in terms of years has been Bond the longest, potentially. From his first movie to his last movie. It might be Connery depending on how you feel about Never Say Never Again.
Yeah.
Which is not an Eon movie, but it was a James Bond movie starring Sean Connery. And really what it comes down to with Daniel Craig is I know he has a couple of real big stinkers in his filmography, But 3 of my 6 favorite James Bond movies star Daniel Craig. So I kind of feel like I have to go with that one. Casino Royale, Skyfall, and No Time to Die are all some of my favorite Bond movies. I think Craig brought a lot of gravitas to the role, but I think more than anything, I think what Craig kind of perfectly depicts in the sense of what I personally like seeing from James Bond is Daniel Craig correctly portrays James Bond as being a bit of a psychopath. Daniel Craig plays James Bond like a relentless, uber violent, crazy person. And I kind of love that. With heart, you know, it's not a total psychopath thing. But the psychopathic tendencies, I feel like, especially in Casino Royale, really come out. So that's why I love Daniel Craig. Back to you, Joe.
Hell
Really
yeah.
accurate to Fleming's vision.
Yes,
yeah.
For better or for worse, I agree.
Yeah. All right. All of them are really good picks. All really good answers. My time to shine now. Who am I gonna pick? Who is my ultimate
Pick Dalton.
pick
Timothy Dalton.
Listen,
Pick Timmy.
Listen.
Timothy Dalton was my second.
Listen.
I love
okay.
Dalton.
I love Dalton too. I think he is a really good Bond. I also have a soft spot for Connery. I also have a soft spot for Craig. However, when I think of movie James
Hey, Roger
Bond,
Moore.
I'm not going to say Roger Moore.
I'm so excited to hear you say Roger Moore. You have
No.
no idea. Because you
Li-
never meet people other than 87-year-olds say Roger Moore is their favorite.
He's my dad's
Listen.
favorite.
Listen, Roger Moore, I rewatched
God
all
rest his
these,
soul.
Yeah, I rewatched all of these Bond
He
movies
was a
for the
Tory.
first time in forever. This year, I rewatched them for the first time in forever just to watch No Time to Die for the first time. All the fucking Roger Moore movies were a slog to get through, and he is by far and away the most unlikable Bond. He is like the asshole Bond. It's not even to say that Roger Moore is bad at the role, but his Bond is a major fucking prick. I really don't like.
And yet he
his
gets the
Bond.
most movies.
He does have the most movies, which is the most unfortunate thing. But
Yeah, some of the
however,
best songs too. Like what the fuck? It's not right.
yeah. With that said, though, when I think of movie James Bond, which is very different, well, for the most part, pretty different from Fleming's Bond. When I think movie James Bond, the tall, dark, handsome, super spy. There's no other person that comes to mind other than Pierce fucking
There
Brosnan.
we go.
We win.
3 for 3.
And you know what? Part of that might be biased because when I was a kid, he was just James Bond. He's like, not only was he James Bond, to quote Tony Stark when describing Nick Fury in the Avengers, he's the spy. He is the ultimate. Like he encapsulates the ultimate gentleman spy in his performance as James Bond. Say what you want about some of his movies. Hot take, I think he has a pretty solid streak, even if I can admit others are better. But man, oh man, he ended on a fucking flat note. Fucking Die Another Day. What a stinker. But yeah, no, Brosnan, he is Bond to me. I've always loved Brosnan, Pierce Brosnan, Ultimate Bond. That's my pick. And it's lucky that we're talking about not only his first outing as James Bond, but his absolute fucking best outing as Bond, and I would argue maybe my favorite James Bond movie. It's debatable. It is very debatable because the 2006 Casino Royale is really fucking good too, but fucking GoldenEye, man. Let's just get into it. Let's talk GoldenEye, baby.
You can't win.
Cody, I'm targeting you first, buddy.
He hates it.
I saw your Letterboxd review, buddy. I need to know what you have to say for yourself.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I wrote my Letterboxd review today, I said with a little speech bubble over my head, what can I say that'll piss Joe off the most? because I don't think twice about it. I do like little 1-sentence reviews, and I'm like, you know what? Say something incorrect, factually incorrect, and not saying anything about it. So this is like the only as far as I was back when I was a kid, like this was just James Bond. This was the only movie that I knew about at the time, and it took me a long time to figure out there were more James Bonds. And that was a rude awakening. So, but, I did see this movie a little bit when I was younger. Not all of it. It was like, it was on TV a few times. I've seen bits of it. And of course, the game, shove that in your face all day. So this is my first time fully sitting down and watching it. And you know what? I had a good time. I liked it. I liked it a fair bit. I think the first thing that caught my eye is how pretty the movie looks. I don't know why. I don't know if anything in particular is different about this movie, but I don't know why this specific color palette that's got going on and just the look of everything just looks especially beautiful this time around. I don't know why, because it's like a 90s movie, so it's not like doing anything crazy. And a lot of it's a really smooth, decent romp. All the action set pieces are very, very cool. All the practical effects, all of like the silly spy tension. I think my favorite scene was when they were like Q's little hangout and they were like testing stuff, all the shit that was going on in the back. It was just
Love a good Q
downright
scene.
Downright, yeah, the iconic Q scene from James Bond. Yeah, I think it was nicely edited. I think my thing is like, this is the part where I should like complain and bitch and get exiled from Bomb Squad again, but I don't really have any complaints for the film. There's nothing wrong with it. I got no issues with the film. I just don't think it specifically gravitated towards me, so I'm just gonna chalk that under it's not really my kind of jam. It's also the first time I've really watched a 007 movie, so I don't know. Maybe this wasn't the right start. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood. Maybe I should have wore a suit. I don't fucking know. All I knew is that I still liked it, all things considered. It was kind of it got a little weird nostalgia rush scenes, obviously. Stuff I would recognize from the game. The intro scene is fantastic, him jumping off the dam. I like the part where, like, all the Russian people are, like, chasing him towards the plane, but then they, like, stop because, like, wait, hold on, he's about to do some James Bond shit. This is gonna be hype, watch. And then they just... because they could have easily just shot him a few more times, but they're like, no, this is James Bond. We gotta see this. And, just funny scenes like that that's just, like, more entertaining than they should be. I guess the only thing that drew me away was, like, I guess the screenplay, a little bit. I don't think I was particularly interested in this specific story, but again, that just might be a preference thing. I just wasn't really drawn into it. On the first go around, of course, give it a few more spins, maybe I'll change my tune on that. But, yeah, I think it was edited well, shot well. I mean, looks great, sounds great. It's a perfectly solid movie. Like I said, I ain't got nothing bad to say about it. I'm very content with GoldenEye. I'm glad I watched it, and I would happily watch it again. So, back to you, Joe.
You got lucky. You got lucky.
I don't have a bad take this time, guys.
You don't. You got lucky.
Remember when he called Jaws mid?
What did it just...
No, I called Jaws good. I called Superman mid. That's a totally different sentence.
No, I'm pretty sure you loved Superman, if I remember correctly.
No, I love
Jaws isn't in this movie, so it doesn't matter.
He could have been.
He's in space with his wife.
Where he belongs.
Anyways, since Tanner's getting facts incorrect about Cody, why don't we go with him next?
Oh, okay. I thought this was gonna be a skip over you joke. Weird setup.
No.
Yeah, GoldenEye. I got the chance to see it in theaters earlier this week because the Alamo Drafthouse for a week straight was playing it exclusively at 9:35 p.m. every night.
Perfect. I'll watch it.
I have things to say about that, but I'm not going to say it over a microphone.
Okay, or we'll talk about it later then. Which was, seeing it on a big screen for the first time because, this movie came out before I was born. So I didn't have any real experience with it until I was a kid. I'm pretty sure my dad showed me it or some James Bond movie. And then I don't know. I remember being a teenager and watching a bunch of James Bond movies in like weird orders though, because in like the early 2010s, streaming streaming was definitely a thing. It wasn't as ubiquitous as it is now, and I didn't have like a credit card, so I couldn't just easily rent stuff online. So excuse me, me watching the James Bond movies mainly depicted of like what I could get at like used video stores or borrow from my friends and family, which resulted in, I'm pretty sure, me watching. I distinctly remember asking a friend if they had a DVD copy of Casino Royale, and they said yes, and they brought me a bootleg copy of Casino Royale, and I went, here we go. and dear reader, I shit you not, I don't know why they had this. It was a bootleg copy of the 1967 Casino Royale movie.
Daniel Craig's
I was like, man, Daniel Craig's older than I thought. Who's that weird guy with the glasses? I don't like him. Little did I know. But GoldenEye was definitely one of my first James Bond movies, and to this day, it is definitely among my favorite James Bond movies. Personally, I'd rank it number 3 among all James Bond movies. Excuse me. Number 2 would be On Her Majesty's Secret Service. My all-time favorite James Bond movie is No Time to Die. Because I just, that one really connected with me. Where to begin with GoldenEye? Well, I think the most important thing with GoldenEye is that there's a scene in this movie that is, perhaps in a lesser action movie would be a normal car chase. But in this movie, it's James Bond chasing after a car in a fucking tank.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's sick as hell. I remember watching that on the big screen earlier this week going, whoa, holy shit. It's so cool. Brosnan is the man. He's definitely in my top 3 favorite Bonds as an actor. Craig's my favorite, and depending on the day of the week, I'd tell you my second favorite is anywhere between Lazenby or Brosnan. Once in a blue moon, maybe I'd say Dalton. Never more. I'll tell you that much. It's never Roger Moore.
Yeah.
I love oh my god, the opening set piece with like the bungee jumping thing, which was just, you know, that classic thing James Bond movies do where they're like, well, here's a trend, let's put it in the movie. Casino Royale did that with that awesome parkour set piece, you know. And it's an actual stunt guy doing that. I mean, you look at it, you look closely on like a small screen, you go, that man looks nothing like Pierce Brosnan. But you know, when you're watching it on a big screen, who gives a shit? It's an awesome little stunt. God, I'm struggling to talk about this one. It's like a perfect little Bond movie, you know. You got the action, you got the stupid puns, you got a great Q scene. One of the last Q scenes we'd get. I think this is his second to last, third to last.
He's
not in Die
last.
Another Day. I know that much.
His last was The World Is Not Enough, which was 2 movies later.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So his third to last movie. If you don't count the commercial he starred in where he kind of played Q. Insert that here, Tim. He won't insert that there.
Don't do it.
He's not gonna do. God, I'm running on fumes here. Unfortunately, because I do really love this movie. I wish I could like talk about it in more detail. I think it's funny that this movie takes place in post-Cold War, but it's still basically the Soviet Union is the villain, even though the Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. I like that the movie ends with them going, we're gonna take you to Guantanamo Bay, and then unlike most movies, that's like not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I like it like Brosnan goes to Guantanamo Bay and then he has the fucking Casino Royale thing where he gets like sadomasochistically sexually tortured.
As you do.
Imagine being sexually tortured by Joe Don Baker. Jesus.
Oh no!
I'm kind of into that.
Are you?
No, by the way, Joe Don Baker, not his first Bond movie.
No, it is not.
He was in The Living Daylights. He played a villain.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Let's
Yes,
be
I
clear.
agree.
He plays Yosemite Sam in that movie, and it owns.
You know what? Here, James GoldenEye. Good.
GoldenEye.
Call the Bondulance.
James Bond's having a stroke called the Bondulance. I'm actually having a stroke right now. This is hard. This is hard. This is like the first time I really should have written something down.
There's a guy named Bill Tanner in this movie, and Tanner's yours.
Oh! Fuck, what's his face? Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Alan Cumming.
Thank you. Alan Cumming
Alan
on
Waring.
me. Yeah, it's so great. I love Alan Cummings in this movie. I love the perfect douchebag. Famke Janssen is great in this movie. I also discovered in the process of watching this movie that if Famke Janssen doesn't have a red head of hair, I apparently am incapable of recognizing her. Because the whole movie, I remember thinking, where's Famke Janssen gonna show up? I just don't recognize her if she doesn't look like Jean Grey, apparently. Sean Bean, great villain. 006, great idea. I know that was stolen from, well, not stolen, taken from some Fleming story, I'm pretty sure. First Bond movie not based off of explicitly based off of a novel from Fleming.
No.
It's not the first one?
License to Kill's the first one.
Oh, License to Kill's the first one. Shows what I know. I don't know. This is like definitely the perfect 90s Bond. That's what I'll say. It kind of leaves some of that 80s cheese behind and embraces it for some more 90s cheese. And then the Brosnan movies would get progressively cheesier until you reach Die Another Day. Hot take, Die Another Day, not my least favorite Brosnan movie. Back to you, Joe.
Interesting. Okay. I'll have to talk to you about that later. But I was picking on Tanner for spilling incorrect facts about Cody. I did hear Ethan dropping correct facts about James Bond. Yeah, that's how
What
I'm
a
gonna
transition.
fucking.
What a
That's
transition.
That's how I'm gonna transition this fucking episode.
You're transitioning.
Ethan!
Yeah, so I think it's Famke Janssen, I think.
Oh, thank you for showing me up on the pronunciation.
I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly. In this movie, for some reason, she looks like if Audrey Horne was a vampire, like without pigment.
Awesome.
Oh my God, you're so right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't stop thinking that the entire time. This is it takes a pick and mix of elements. To be clear, the films have largely, particularly in the Moore era, diverged significantly from Fleming's text, to the point that The Spy Who Loved Me, which the original novel is written from a first-person perspective by a woman and is the most explicitly sexual James Bond novel by Fleming. And of course, him writing it, a woman in her early 20s for the first person is like
Oh, God.
a 50-year-old British man at that point.
Must be horrifying.
Probably a Tory. Strange, incredible insight into his person. But also, the film obviously couldn't be adapted based on that because even at the time, everyone was like, this was a bad idea. So there is a novelization of the film The Spy Who Loved Me, and Moonraker, the film, diverges so significantly that there's also a separate novelization of Moonraker, which I think is still called Ian Fleming's Moonraker, which is such a strange sort of dichotomy. It's either that or James Bond and Moonraker.
James Bond and
film
Ian Fleming's Moonraker. Just really as wordy as possible.
Does take a few things from Moonraker. What is her name? Is it Gala? Gala. The Gala Brand is the woman who calculates the trajectory for the Moonraker rocket in the original film, and that's sort of the equivalent to Natalia's character a little bit in this one. Moonraker is one they like to crib bits and pieces from just whatever all the time. Just because, I don't know, space age stuff keeps cropping up in these films. Satellites keep happening in movies. Diamonds Forever, yeah, whatever, put a satellite in, who cares? But as for this film, I've got to say, the 90s started off exceptionally rough for James Bond, despite the overall quality of the films generally increasing in the 80s after the truly dire 70s, particularly when Dalton takes over for worst of all time Roger Moore, but even his outings are kind of better at this point in time. The shrinking budgets that sort of pervaded the later period meant that even director John Glenn was struggling towards the end of his tenure. With License to Kill, good as it is, frequently resembling a higher budget episode of Miami Vice.
Like that's a bad thing.
I like Big Ed Hurley showing up there and being especially stiff. Very good. But when troubles with MGM stalled production of Bond 17, there was little to tide folks over beyond kind of crummy video games for British microcomputers, John Gardner's generally pretty poorly regarded Bond novels, and the truly embarrassing, half-hearted attempt to push an instantly dated, poorly produced sub-franchise in James Bond Jr., all centered around Murakami Wolf Svensson's really bad television cartoon, which mostly served to make their Ninja Turtles cartoon look a lot better by comparison. So 90s, first half, bad for James Bond and James Bond fans who didn't like tabletop role-playing games and comic books. All that said, it's really remarkable that GoldenEye is as good as it is, and it is pretty darn good. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's most certainly the best entry of Brosnan's tenure and a really enjoyable action film. The budget is expanded considerably from the 1980s, almost double that of License to Kill at $60 million, which it mostly uses for its exceptional action set pieces, but without the sort of sense of bloat that pervades future Brosnan-era films. Its major sequences are not merely big, but visually compelling and cut together in a way that maintains a brisk pace with some remarkably strong set design work. Even expository sequences are compelling, with much love to Alec and Bond's nighttime encounter in a sort of graveyard for dismantled Soviet statuary, which is both beautiful and features some incredible delivery from show stealer Sean Bean that immediately leads into a genuinely tense sequence where Bond has to save himself and capture Natalia from the Tiger helicopter before its own missiles are used to destroy it. It's a great bit that just sort of encapsulates a lot of really good elements, like Skuropko's wonderful range as Natalia. I'm sure I butchered that. When she's just screeching at Bond to wake up as it cuts from that. It's like the Citizen Kane cockatoo almost.
Yes.
For that. It's really good. The really rapid editing. The use of digital effects here are at their most convincing. They don't always look great, like in the scenes of them dangling from the satellite dish. The compositing lines on Sean Bean are really obvious. But in this bit, I think it's really effective and is combined with like the great set design for the immediate aftermath of the explosion, the really incredible model work by Derek Meddings, who's a veteran of Super Marionation works, my personal favorite being UFO, as well as Superman 1978, for which I believe he won an Academy Award, or at least was nominated for the Golden Gate Bridge effects sequence. He constructed the model for that. He would also work on Batman 1989, a bunch of stuff. He has an incredible career doing model stuff, and is basically the reason that if there's a set piece in a 70s era Bond film that you like, he's probably responsible for it, as well as 80s era Bond. But I mean, the one good thing about some of those 70s films is that they do have some genuinely really impressive models and prop work as much as anything. And that model there is really impressive. That entire sequence is a really great encapsulation of why the film is so good, because it's really tight and demonstrates everything that you really like about it. But the whole film is chock full of great material, with a remarkably strong supporting cast to complement a relatively subdued Bond in this one, particularly in the wake of Dalton, who's a bit more expressive, larger eyes, a bit more willingness to sort of emote. One of the series' best cold opens, in my opinion, and a top 3 Bond score in Eric Serra's unique, eclectic soundtrack that managed to seamlessly integrate record scratches, kazoos, and chanting monks with a lot of accident Bond cues. Shoutouts to the extremely goofy and charming Ladies First that plays during the post-credits car chase as a metaphor for sex, but also Moneypenny's there, followed by the genuinely beautiful, if slightly ill-fitting We Share the Same Passions when Onatop and Bond meet at the casino, where of course Baccarat is happening, because Baccarat is always happening, except in 2006's Casino Royale. But no, as a whole, there's just a lot to really like about this one, particularly at the level of just sort of filmmaking craft. I think that it doesn't quite achieve the same highs in terms of pathos as some of the best entries, or at least my personal favorite entries in the Bond series do. But as a visual object, as an aesthetic thing, and as something that's just sort of pleasurable to watch, I think it's really remarkable, and may be like the most pleasurable James Bond film.
Hell yeah. Great. Those are actually genuinely great points and thoughts, Ethan. Thank you for sharing on those. Speaking of people who typically have great and thoughtful points, Austin, you're up, buddy.
Thank you, host.
You're welcome.
GoldenEye, from the director who brought us The Sex Thief, we have what is, in my opinion, the very best Bond film. In one of our previous episodes, this show's gracious editor, Tim M. Sullivan, he raised a point about how traditional cell animated films from like the late 90s and early 2000s were the peak of the art form. Talking at the time about Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust. Watch the episode. Because it was at this intersection where we had advanced technology, but the default was still doing it practically. Just before people were like handed the ability to fabricate entire set pieces and eventually shots in the computer, there was like this golden hour where these high precision instruments were only used to enhance what was already pretty fucking awesome when they got it in the can, right? A fantastic example of this exact thing can be seen right at the beginning of the movie when stuntman Wayne Michaels does a record-setting 220-meter swallow dive off a real Swiss dam. They used a Libra remote camera head with computer-assisted stabilization to smoothly track the stuntman as he covered an unbelievable vertical distance at speed. It's not the first time somebody jumped off a high place for like a Bond opening, but the exact way they filmed it would have been technically impossible before the early 90s.
Wow.
And yeah, alongside these complex digital instruments, you also got like the good old showstoppers at a fucking never before seen scale. GoldenEye is notable because the famous 5,900 square foot 007 stage at Pinewood was immediately determined to be too puny for what they were trying to plan. That's right, the stage that was big enough for the Fortress of Solitude, the Batcave, and the fucking Willy Wonka chocolate room was not big enough for what they had planned for GoldenEye. So they converted this old Rolls-Royce aircraft factory in Leavesden, Hertfordshire, into a fucking movie studio. Back in the 40s, this building was the largest factory in the entire world, only to eventually be outdone by the Boeing Everett factory in Washington. And you can kind of sense how massive the sets are. The weapons factory with all the canisters flying around, the statue graveyard, the library archive with the toppling bookcases and shit. They even recreated several blocks of St. Petersburg with a bunch of fake 3 to 5 story buildings so they could film the scarier parts of the tank sequence. And I'm gonna go on the record right now. The tank chase in GoldenEye is the most exhilarating sequence in any of the 25 Bond films. The last time I spoke about effects guy Chris Corbold on this show, I was praising him for his work with specifically Christopher Nolan, because he's the guy responsible for like the freight train in Inception and the modern Batmobile. But as much as I love Nolan, the Sex Thief guy did it better here. I cannot think of another film where you get to see the good guy drive a genuinely fast tank through an entire city. It took a whole month to shoot. Half the shots are one-take wonders because they were way too expensive to reset, and it's one of the coolest things I have ever seen. To wrap up, GoldenEye is this phenomenal high watermark from like back when the old masters like still did shit like working with miniatures, but they also had state-of-the-art motion control rigs. Back when you could score a $10 million prototype military helicopter for one shot because one of your producers speaks French. Back when they would dump like 10 grand on spark hits for one scene and they crash an Aston Martin DB5 into a real Ferrari because the only way to drift down a mountain back then was doing it for real. This is high-octane shit made by people who were masters of their craft, and on top of all that, the script and the acting are good. This is the closest they ever got to being perfect with James Bond, in my opinion. It manages to be funny, sexy, and dangerous without flinching. Back to you, Joe. I fucking love this movie.
Alright, fuck yeah. Something you and I have in common here, Austin, because now it's my time to talk about this movie. I fucking love this movie too, man. It's a 5 out of 5 masterclass in Bond movies. To kind of take a quote from one Tanner Richard Crafts about Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. I kind of feel like how he feels about that movie with Bond. where it is the ultimate encapsulation of a James Bond movie, while also being the ultimate critique of a James Bond movie in a way. In particular with that scene with M, where it's like where she very clearly calls him out on his bullshit. Which, speaking of, Judi Dench, you know what, I'm gonna
Dame Judi Dench. Thank you.
Dame Judi Dench. Put some respect on her name. Okay, I will. I might as well just get into my thoughts on Dame Judi Dench in this movie. In it briefly, but man, oh man, she injects so much goddamn life into M, who, when you watch the entire series, even when you get Ralph Fiennes playing M, he's just M. He's there. He's not much of a character.
Ralph Fiennes was almost James Bond in this movie, by the way. He auditioned.
Oh.
That is kind of insane. But yeah, Dame Judi Dench makes M a character in this, which is fucking incredible, and she continues to make M a character throughout the rest of the franchise, and is easily the best M. But back to the movie itself. Enough about Judi Dench. This movie is fucking everything that you want out of a classic Bond movie, while also like modernizing it. Well, for the time that it came out, which was the 90s, and they did it spectacularly, and it holds up exponentially well. Yeah, some of the effects work is kind of funky looking at points, some of that blue screen, some of that model work, but you know what? Who fucking cares? That's what you love out of these Bond movies. It's like, you get cool effects even if they do look really wonky. The action set piece in this movie, I shit you not, when I did my Bond binge earlier this year and I got to fucking GoldenEye, and it starts off with James fucking Bond bungee jumping off that goddamn dam. I shit you not, I shouted, "Let's fucking go!" It's maybe like the most get hype opening sequence ever. And then you just get that intro. You get that fucking perfect intro of James Bond. He cracks a joke, and then it's like he's holding the gun, and he's got like that the lighting on his eyes. It's like he's perfect. It's like in one quip and in one pose with the gun. Like that's the guy. That's Bond. That is 100% Bond. Like he sells you right away. And that whole opening sequence, great shit. The Tina Turner song, great shit. I think this was like the first time that they did like digital work for those opening credit sequences, and man oh man, they experiment the hell out of that shit.
Out of a gun coming out of a woman's mouth made me laugh watching it in theaters.
I laugh every time. It's fucking great.
I forgot about that, and I lit. And all the 40-year-olds around me did not think that shit was funny at all.
That's great.
Fucking lame ass 40-year-olds. But to keep on the GoldenEye's the best train here. Even the action outside of that opening sequence is fucking killer. Like a couple of you guys mentioned the tank chase. The tank chase is fucking great, baby. Ethan mentioned the car chase that immediately follows the opening credits. Shit's fucking great. Shit's so much goddamn fun. I love that score too. That's another thing too, is blends, because there is still orchestral pieces in it, and the orchestral pieces in it really good. But man, oh man, I love that techno sounding orchestra. I love everything that sounds digital in the beginning. It's a very unique sound. More specifically to this movie, they kind of just go back to traditional score after this. But man, oh man, it's fucking memorable. And that piece when they're in the car at the very beginning and they're doing that chase, easily the best of it. I fucking love it. I love the score. I love all the other characters in this too. Natalia's fucking wonderful. That actress, Isabel's. I'm not gonna.
You
Ethan,
tried.
I tried. I didn't try. Ethan tried. We don't know if we got it right. But that woman,
What up, Cody?
she's fucking gorgeous in this movie. That woman also might have the keys to the Fountain of Youth because she still looks great. Famke Jensen, Famke fucking Jensen in this is definitely one of the more memorable Bond henchwomen, hench people, for various reasons. I love Sean Bean in this too. I think he's easily like top 3 Bond villains, if not top 2. Alan Cummings very funny in this. I am invincible. I see so many goddamn computer nerds quote that specific scene. I mean, how could you not? It's so fucking good. There's a lot of shit I want to talk about with this movie, and I'm beginning to run out of steam, and my thoughts are getting a little scatterbrained. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with some quick general thoughts.
Yes! I am invincible!
All right, and we are back from that ad for another ad. Tanner, do you want to take us away?
That's right. See that shit behind me? That's a movie palette. That's the one for the movie Punch Drunk Love. Who knows if it'll still be up by the next time we record. I'm moving out right now. But that's right. That one's for the movie Punch Drunk Love. Basically what a movie palette does is it takes the primary color of every frame of your favorite movies and puts it all, these little digestible slices, puts it all on a canvas for you to enjoy. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to moviepalette.com, pick your favorite movie. You can find one for GoldenEye, any other James Bond movie, I'm sure. And if your favorite movie isn't on there, for a little extra money, you can get her custom made. What you're going to do is add that to your cart, but before you check out, enter the code SQUAD15 to save 50% on your order.
Hell yeah, Tanner. And if
I don't know why I went a little Obama-y there. I don't know what was up with that.
And if you, I mean, he mentioned getting a movie palette made for the movie if it's not on there. If you're a fucking psychopath and want one for the 60s Casino Royale, you can have that made for you.
No, that's the only one banned, actually. They specifically told me that in the initial email. Yeah, they'll send you an email back that says, we have IP banned you from our store. We are keeping your money. Just to be clear, we are keeping your money. You will not be getting a product, and you are IP banned. The movie palette people will not do that. That's a joke.
Moviepalette.com.
All right. Well, enough with the jokes about Casino Royale, 1960 whatever, and movie palette. Let's get in some quick general discussion. Tanner has his hand raised like he's back in fucking elementary school. I'm not gonna call on him. I'm just kidding. Go right ahead, Tanner.
GoldenEye. Great Bond song. Do we agree?
Yeah.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Tina Turner, her vocals are incredible, and not to give the band a U2 credit, but to give the band U2 credit, Bono and The Edge do the instrumentation and production of the song, and it's pretty great. I don't think it's my favorite Brosnan one. That's probably The World Is Not Enough from Garbage.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite Brosnan era Bond song. I almost like talking about the Bond songs as much as I like talking about the Bond movies, because a lot of time there could be like an inverse quality where like the quality of the Bond song does not really correlate much to the quality of the movie in some cases. I think my favorite example of that is that Garbage song. The World Is Not Enough is like I said, my favorite Brosnan Bond theme. The World Is Not Enough is my least favorite Brosnan Bond movie.
Oh, I disagree.
My second favorite is Tomorrow Never Dies, and then I like Die Another Day a hair more, because you know what? I like the surfing. I like all the stupid shit. I like all the stupid shit in Die Another Day.
Tanner,
all right? Fucking sue me.
Die Another Day and Escape from LA.
Yeah, what about it?
Man loves surfing.
When you mention Tina Turner, I just keep trying to come up with some sort of can we just get Beyond Thunderball bit, but
Beyond Thunderdome, Beyond Thunderball.
yeah.
I mean, Bond movies, this was the first Bond song that kind of charted, by the way, since Duran Duran hit #1 with A View to Kill. of
Oh,
U2.
hold on. I don't think it charted, but Living Daylights deserved it.
It did.
that song's
I'm
rock.
also specifically talking about the US and the UK, where Aha is not just a one-hit wonder. It hit number 5 on the UK charts. But this
Living
was
Daylights is so good.
It's a great song. Don't get me wrong.
It's a great movie.
I like the movie, but the
Milkman?
Tina Turner song hit number 2 on the Bubbling Under chart, which kind of means it hit 102 on the Hot 100 in a way. The next Bond song that actually, pop quiz, what was the next Bond song after the Duran Duran one to actually chart in the US?
Skyfall.
No. That's
Die Another
right.
Day?
It was, what was that, Ethan?
Die Another Day.
It was Die Another Day, yes.
Damn.
Wow.
It was the
I was gonna say
Madonna
that.
one. Surprise.
Nice.
Ah, Madonna. Not
Isn't the
that
Die
album.
Another? Isn't Die Another Day the only song on that one album she released it on that charted?
Yes.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Okay,
wouldn't
it
start
is
at
the
all.
only song on This American. I see you too watch Todd in the Shadows like I do. Wow, Ethan, it feels so good to say that. I don't understand why you do it to me all the time.
I love seeing people for their media consumption decisions. It's so good.
Okay.
Especially if I'm being hypocritical.
It is, and like Todd in the Shadows says, the only reason it was attached to This American Life is so This American Life wouldn't be the only Madonna album to not have a hit song.
Oh.
Because Die Another Day, pretty good song actually, if you ask me. But GoldenEye better, I'd say.
yeah.
GoldenEye is a great fucking song.
Sigmund Freud.
When I think of a Bond movie where the song is great, the movie sucks ass, the movie that jumps to mind immediately is Live and Let Die. I was so
That's
excited.
like the most iconic example. Live and Let Die might be my favorite Bond song ever. It is not that good of a movie.
It is
Oh,
maybe the worst.
it
It's,
is.
like, and its only
it's
competition
not good.
is The Man with the Golden Gun. Man with the Golden Gun is not a good song. That's drunk ant music.
And it's a shame because the other two James Bond Gold songs are great. GoldenEye is a great song. Goldfinger, also a great song.
Yeah.
Three Blind Mice,
Goldfinger.
great song.
Three Blind Mice, thank you!
When Austin suggested this during the Oscar performance of like the Bond tribute, all I could imagine, I started thinking, what if you put Three Blind Mice over like the cold open to every Bond film? Like I'm imagining Three Blind Mice as Sean getting shot.
There's a non-zero chance it works, honestly.
It would be extremely good. More substantially, this might be a controversial take. But while I think this is the best Brosnan film, I don't think it's my favorite Brosnan performance. While he certainly looks the part of James Bond and makes for a pitch-perfect face on a poster, here you could really tell he had gotten his start playing a guy largely pretending to be a cool detective for several seasons of Remington Steele.
Great show.
Particularly the way he seems to flinch whenever called upon to fire a weapon, his general lack of physicality when compared to Dalton, and his more understated performances, while great for making the incredibly strong supporting players stand out, means that he feels more than a bit uncomfortable in the role of Bond. That said, I think that he does improve throughout his tenure, and that he's finally getting a really good handle on the character by Die Another Day, which, despite that film having a ton of issues, obviously, is maybe the best Bond performance that Brosnan puts in. I think he's actually quite good in that film, despite its other qualities.
Which James Bond movie does Pierce Brosnan say, and I thought Christmas only came once a year? Because that's the one he's the best in.
That's The World Is Not Enough, the one you don't like.
I never said I didn't like it. I said it was my least favorite Brosnan one.
Until now. Now he loves it.
Yeah, now I'm starting to turn around on it. Hold on a minute.
Ethan brought up Brosnan flinching in action sequences. I want to bring up a specific sequence, or not a specific moment towards the end of this movie, and this is where I go full Chris Farley show. But you remember that scene towards the end, and they're firing at Bond, and he just kind of moves his head to the left. Wasn't that kind of cool? Wasn't that awesome?
There's like my 5-year-old nephew going up to me after watching GoldenEye. He's like, "Remember the part where he moved his head?"
Remember when he got in the tank and he crashed through shit?
I liked how
Isn't that
content he
awesome?
looked in the tank.
Did anyone else try to count the amount of times that Boris clicked the pen?
I was literally gonna ask
Yes.
you, like, be honest with yourselves. Who counted? I was like, 1, 2.
Did it? Because I lost count.
Boris is a nervous wreck with that fucking pen. I couldn't keep up.
That was hard. That was really hard, especially in the theater. I tried to keep track of it, and then like once I lost it, I was like, well, there's no going back now.
Yeah, it's like a cup game. Once you lose one cup, it's like, fuck it.
It's over.
Since we're mentioning the pen, I want to bring up the scene with Q Branch in this, which, man, oh man, when you want to talk about Brosnan effortlessly like playing the character, that man is so goddamn like at home and comfortable when he's acting off of Desmond Llewellyn. Which, man, oh man, Desmond Llewellyn, may that man rest in peace. He's got some, honestly, that whole fucking segment of the movie, it feels like a Naked Gun segment. it kind of takes over. Like, it's like the one.
Well, the Q scenes are always kind of like that. There's always some goofy shit going on in the Q scenes.
They are.
It
But
feels
like
it
this one,
the
it's
best
like.
one.
It's the best one, and like the Naked Gun, there's just like so many goddamn gags going on in the background. Like that airbag in the phone booth, like when you
Oh,
think
that's
that
my favorite one. The
Like,
airbag.
They never got him out of there.
just when you think that joke is over, it comes right back because they're wheeling the guy away.
It's such a great scene.
Speaking of Q, go ahead, Ethan. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm really fond, actually, of all things, of when he gets his Walther in Doctor No, when they just go into the office, because Sean Connery is weirdly petulant about it, kind of a baby, in a way that's sort of uncharacteristic of later entries. I like that a lot. I don't know why, because usually he's so cool, and having him be the one who's kind of caught off guard by it is kind of a rare treat. My favorite bit in a Q segment is, favorite sort of in halfway in air quotes, is the bit in Octopussy, where they're like testing out a security camera, and 53-year-old Roger Moore gets on it, and he's aiming it at a secretary's breasts, and he just does the Wayne's World extreme close-up, zoom in, zoom out on it. It caught me so off guard watching it the first time. And
you're like, oh yeah, he's sexist.
Oh, my bad.
Speaking of the Q scene and the gadgets in it, did anyone else notice that Q says, look at all this shit the car can do, and then the car doesn't do anything the whole movie? I was curious about this. I looked it up. Apparently BMW being the Bond car for this movie was like an 11th hour deal.
Yeah.
So the car that BMW gave them was a prototype they were barely allowed to do anything with beyond driving it. They were not allowed to use it in any action sequences, and I can't get exact confirmation on it, but the implication is because it was the only one they had.
That's really funny.
I wanted to see those Stinger missiles, but we were denied. Speaking of cars, did you know, I mentioned this earlier, but when they were filming the chase scene, right, down the mountain in the beginning, they crashed the Aston Martin in DB5 into the fucking Ferrari, right? They had to get that shit fixed overnight, because they were shooting the next day, and they had 3 different units, including an aerial unit with helicopters that were already, like, paid and shit. So they had to spend $80,000 to get that shit turned around in one day. Kind of like one of those really spooky. I'm surprised that the director survived this. Also, watch behind-the-scenes footage. This director scares the shit out of me.
That's
Martin
something I wanted
Campbell
to
is
mention.
allowed to do that because he also he directed this movie and fucking Casino Royale. He's like allowed to do whatever he wants forever, within reason.
And the Sex Thief.
Within reason.
And then he made Green Lantern.
That is not Martin Campbell's fault.
Whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want, big guy.
Many drivers in this movie.
Great.
Minnie
yes.
Minnie
Singing her heart
Driver?
out. Yeah.
Oh, that's
she's the singer at the club.
That's Minnie Driver?
That's Minnie Driver.
Holy shit!
I was like watching the movie and seeing it on the big screen and things are blown up. It's that 4K resolution. You kind of notice things you didn't go before, and I was like, man, that looks a lot like Skylar in Good Will Hunting. Hey, wait a minute! It was literally what happened to me. I was like, huh, that lady looks like Skylar from Good. Wait a fucking minute. Because it was.
Bobby Coltrane doing the I Got Her Number band.
I love Robbie Coltrane's one scene in this movie.
So, the sort of, I don't know, gimmick, like narrative novelty of this film, with Bond squaring off against a former MI6 agent, was pretty neat at the time. Obviously since that's been iterated on and done, a bit more seriously in Daniel Craig iterations. The first thing I want to note is the only other, to my knowledge, on-screen appearance of 00 we'd had before this was 009. So we got 006 and 009. Nice.
Okay.
But what's interesting is the idea of squaring off against another 00 or even another MI6 agent was never the subject of a Fleming novel, and I don't think it was ever addressed in Gardner's work or like contemporary comics of the day. But to my knowledge, the first time Bond ever squared off against a turncoat MI6 agent was in Takao Saito's 007 manga. In a 1967 chapter between the conclusion of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which of course ended with Bond assaulting the mountain fortress of his recurring and most famous enemy, Mr. Big, and
the
start
band?
of his, that's right, of his adaptation of The Man with the Golden Gun. There's a one-off chapter wherein Bond confronts a character that isn't officially designated as a 00, but it is his former teacher in disgraced MI6 agent Alex Lee. While a far cry from Alec and GoldenEye, facial scars aside, they both have facial scars. Can you believe that? A bad guy in a pulp thing has a facial scar? Surely
I can't
they
believe
must
it.
have copied this. And also Alec and Alex, that's kind of a fun coincidence. But I don't know, it speaks to desire to have a sort of anti-Bond character, a Shadow to his Sonic, or a Metal Sonic to his Sonic, so to speak.
I see.
And you really, in the movies, you don't get a ton of that before this. I think the closest you ever get is Donald Grant from Russia with Love, who feels like sort of the equivalent to him, which is great. I do like Donald Grant a lot, but credits where it's due. Takao Saito kind of has the credit for the first one to do that with an MI6 guy, which I think is fun and interesting. I think those comics are interesting in general. I think replacing Blofeld with Mr. Big is fascinating, because I think Mr. Big in the novels is so much cooler, even if he is deeply problematic.
Fair.
A Black Man is written by a 50-year-old British white guy?
I gotta read these Fleming novels. I imagine that's the fascinating insight specifically into Fleming's mind at all times.
You Only Live Twice is somehow at least 3 times more racist than the movie.
How? What?
I learned a new slur reading Dr. No.
Put that on the box. That's the poll quote right there. I learned a new slur from this movie. And it's like a photo of Ethan Hawke or 2 thumbs up.
I don't know. They might see it for copyright. Gran Torino already did that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I remember walking out of the theater, Gran Torino, hearing all the boomers go, I forgot about that one.
Cody.
Can I say that? Can I say that?
Cody, yeah, you've been awfully quiet. You have any more things you want to say about the video game? Because I know you're a fan.
Talk about the video game.
No, I
it's
can
a
talk
great
about
game.
No, I can talk about the movie more.
Talk about the video game, goddammit.
Tanner, let him talk about whatever he wants to talk about.
I want to talk about the.
That's right. Tell us about the Tiger Electronics LCD game.
There we go.
The risk. Okay. I think one of my favorite action sequences is at the end where they're like at the satellite. That moment when Bond drops down and he's like on this on this ladder, and it's the tiniest fucking platform known to man. Like, I even knowing how it was gonna go, I was just like, ooh, dude, because I know I'm acrophobic, so the second I see that, I'm like, I hate that shit. And of course, the great delivery of for England, James, no, for me, and then drops him, banger, absolute banger. But I'll tell you, speaking of the game, it's a lot fucking harder in this game because there's a bunch of enemies and shit shooting you while you're chasing him. It's a piece of shit. But the fog is pretty nice in that scene.
Like the wrist game.
The wrist game. Sorry, picking the mic, Tim.
You mentioned that end climax battle. Man, oh man. There's definitely some like hardcore Bond deaths or Bond villain deaths in the series.
Hardcore bondage? What?
That's for later.
Thank you, Tanner. Very cool.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's Cody and I were talking about our plans.
Thank you, Tanner. Very cool. Anyway, there's some fucking hardcore like deaths of Bond villains throughout the series. I'd say this one's kind of up there. Because fucking Trevelyan just falls like however many fucking feet off that dish.
And lives!
And lives, yes, and then the whole fucking place explodes, and then it comes careening down on him.
Yeah, like I thought it was a cool death as is, but then when it comes back to him like reacting to the thing falling out, I'm like, oh, he's alive? Oh fuck! He was just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, the
to
reveal
die.
that he's still alive while that thing is about to like totally just stab him is kind of incredible.
It's kind of fucking awesome.
Speaking of Sean Bean in this movie, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean in this movie. Yeah, living la vida loca. No.
What does that have to do with it?
Nothing. It has nothing to do with it. I don't know why. It just activated something in my brain. Living la vida loca is a Bond theme. Go! Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Sean Bean. Sean Bond. Shawn Mendes. Anyway, maybe my favorite. He's up there with maybe my favorite Bond villain. I don't know. I kind of love the whole like a contemporary of Bond thing with it. I feel like a lot of Bond villains are usually either just like businessmen or like, I am 70 years old. Give me money. I like that this guy's like, it's like his peer. It's his peer. And I think that's really interesting, especially because there's that implied they were friends beyond just being like, you know, peers. Like they have a lot of camaraderie, and back and forth in that opening scene when they're all friendly. You can tell they have like chemistry. Maybe they fucked at one point. I don't know. There's a little implication there. But I love how like it kind of makes it all. You know it's coming. But it, like, cause you think, well, there's no way.
Alan.
Yeah, they know. You know it's Alan coming. Well, the thing is that after he dies in the opening scene, and you as an audience member usually thinks, well, Sean Bean must be the villain, because you don't hire Sean Bean and then kill him off after one scene. I feel like he was bigger than that. Maybe not. Then again,
not at the time. I think they mentioned in the commentary that he was mainly known for like the Sharp films, or the Sharp like BBC series or something at the time.
Really? I suppose. I guess in my mind, Sean Bean is like this legendary actor. I guess Lord of the Rings came after.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess this is one of his earlier roles, huh? What do I know?
I mean, in terms of like international exposure, I think he was like a pretty popular name.
Well, he's a known thing, but before that, I guess he was in Patriot Games. I don't know how big of a, I don't remember how big of a part he has in that, but he's in it.
Discount the Fugitive.
Yeah. I don't know. I love him. I love him as the villain in this movie. He's fantastic.
In the original cut of this movie, you actually do get to see Sean Bean getting fucking domed. That was in the cut of this movie for a long time, but for some reason they were aiming for like a PG rating in the UK, so they had to cut the part where he just gets fucking blasted in the head.
That's because in the UK they have like a rating between PG and PG-13, I think.
Yeah, 12.
It's like,
yeah.
They mentioned on the
Peggy
commentary.
That's
I'm assuming they were aiming for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it ends up working out, because, you know, it not showing him getting directly fucking blasted in the head with a hand cannon kind of works better because he comes back later.
That is
Yeah,
true.
if we
I
saw
was
him
wondering
get
how he did
domed
that.
like that, and then later in the movie he's like, I'm alive, I'd be like, no. No.
So, speaking of kind of deaths, I'm thinking of Alan Cummings' sort of death in this, where he's like flash frozen. Like, if I saw
love
that as
it.
a kid, that'd probably be slightly distressing.
Yeah.
It's a
However,
great
I do
honor.
kind of want to just have that happen and then immediately cut to Yaphet Kotto exploding at the end of that I think that'd be very good. It's also worth knowing that this movie killed James Bond comics for like a decade and a half.
What?
Topps was doing an adaptation of it, and they got through one issue, and I think they penciled and inked issues 2 and 3 for a miniseries, and they just never got approved and never got published. It was one of 3, and then I guess they just squatted on the rights for it for a while, and I don't think they started publishing James Bond comics probably until Dynamite got the license back. Later in the day, or Titan, I think actually. Now that I think of it, yeah, Titan had the license to that. But yeah, which is weird because there'd been James Bond comics concurrently internationally for years. pretty much without issue, and suddenly they just stop, which is a shame.
Damn.
I've seen that comic book cover of Dr. No, where one of the planets in space looks like James Bond's butt cheek. You know the cover I'm talking about, Ethan?
Sorry, what?
I have no idea.
I'll send you this later. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Like the same color as his ass cheeks in the costume.
Inspired.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I'll send this now.
Does
Take us home. Take us home, Joe.
Final thoughts? Okay. All right. So we're gonna wrap things up. We're beginning to run out of steam on this bad boy, so we'll take it to final thoughts. Austin, we'll start with you.
GoldenEye is the perfect intersection where serious, grounded James Bond meets over-the-top, outrageous James Bond. It was made at that perfect end of the century era where the technicians were at the top of their game because fixing it in post wasn't an option yet. And even though this is one of those times where they did a Bond movie without a Fleming novel to adapt, it hits just as hard as anything taken from the mind of that former real-life spy. It's Bond. The best Bond. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, Tanner, you're next, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, really, with this movie, I mean, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's definitely one of my favorite movies within its genre. It's really just this perfect, ultimate 90s encapsulation of the thing it's depicting, with a character named Joe in it. I am, of course, talking about the movie Ephus that takes place in the 1990s. It's all Ephus, baby. It's all Ephus, baby.
So this is what it feels like.
I
had the OC and the X-Files. This fucker's got Ephus.
Ephus. Ethan, you should watch Ephus. I think you'd like it. Anyway, GoldenEye is like an amazing fucking movie. It's one of my favorite James Bond movies. It's so good. It's so good. So good.
So
Back to you,
good?
Joe.
All right, so good. Ethan, take us away with your final thoughts.
Well, it may lack the pathos that characterizes my very favorite Bond outings. It's most likely the very most fun of any Bond film to date. It really is the perfect first outing for Brosnan. GoldenEye may not have a great deal below its surface, but at the aesthetic level, it really feels like the ideal Bond film, and that's a remarkable accomplishment in and of itself, I think.
Hell yeah. All right. Cody, take us away, buddy.
My final thoughts. I'm glad I finally got to fully watch this movie, and I'm excited to watch more James Bond films in the future. It's fun, entertaining, actiony, all the good adjectives. So, good movie, better game. See you later, fuckers.
He's gonna go play the game. He's playing the Wii port, though. That's the sad part.
Oh no. Poor guy.
That game's okay.
All right. Well, while Cody runs away like a cartoon villain, I will take us out with my final thoughts on GoldenEye. I fucking love this movie, man. This is like one of the ultimate James Bond movies, in my opinion. It captures everything that's perfect about James Bond in a nutshell, and modernizes it for the 90s generation, and it's... I don't know, there's just fucking something about GoldenEye, man, that's just so goddamn good. And good. And I don't think, other than Casino Royale, which, I don't know, 2006 Casino Royale, it might be better. We'll definitely be talking about it next year, because it's got an anniversary next year. But, it might be close, but I don't think any other fucking Bond movie has even come close to topping either Casino Royale or GoldenEye. It's the best of the best, baby, and I am so happy that we got to talk about it today. But you know who else I'm happy got to be here with us today as we talked about GoldenEye? Want to know who I was happy was here? You! The person, Cody's back.
Oh, Cody's done playing! You're back!
I know.
He beat the whole game.
It didn't work.
He beat the whole game. You know who else beat the whole game? You get 2! The person watching/listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. Thank you all oh so very much for tuning in for this wonderful episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. Leave a comment down below. Who's your favorite James Bond? What do you think of GoldenEye? Do you think it's a better movie or a better game? Die Another Day. Is it good? Comment below. Let us know.
Must the movie be good? Isn't it enough for Halle Berry to look attractive?
Comment that.
Yeah, Flintstones movie is maybe the best film ever made.
Thank you. Finally, someone
Michael
that's
McConaughey and Halle Berry, two of the
Thank
most
God.
attractive people.
Matthew McConaughey is hot as hell. I won't lie.
Anyway, while you're down there,
All right.
Not that one. Dumb, stupid.
Anyway, while you're down there being like Richard Roper and talking about how attractive Halle Berry is in the comments.
All right. Don't compare me to him. Hold on.
While you're at it, hit the like button so we know how much you like us. Hit that subscribe button so we know how much you love us. And hit the bell icon so you can get updated on all of our new videos and all that fun shit. Check out our Patreon. We love our patrons. We've got a couple tiers on there. $5 is commentary tracks. We've got a couple of fun ones for that. We did Daredevil. We did SpongeBob, the movie. We did a series of unfortunate events. Tanner and I, whenever
it was the movie.
Yeah.
We did all 15 seasons ago, actually.
Tanner and I are planning. We're gonna be doing commentary tracks on all the Chipmunk movies. So that's
Alvin in the Chipmunk movie. Sorry, not every movie that's ever had a chipmunk in it. That'd be a much more expansive list.
Probably, but yeah, we're gonna be doing that at some point in the future. And I know I keep promising it, but we are 100% doing Snakes on a Plane. I'm gonna make this shit happen. And if you donate to the $10 tier for our Patreon, you also get a shout out along with those commentary tracks. So our shout out, as always, Tanya Kraft, we love you. Thank you for donating to that Patreon tier. And yeah, I didn't say your middle name was Richard this time, so points for me, baby. Anyway, check out our Twitch. We don't really use our Twitch. I want to start using our Twitch.
We will
again.
be soon. We will be using the Twitch account soon. Stay tuned. Stay updated. We will be back.
Alright, so Cody may be bringing the Twitch.
Kyle MacLachlan earlier.
Maybe not GoldenEye, but other games.
Cody may be bringing the Twitch back before I do. I know I want to bring the Twitch streams back again. I miss streaming on Twitch. But check us out there. Check us out on Insta. Check us out on whatever social media platforms we have. We're pretty much on all the major ones. Tune in next time for Tanner. You want to take us away and tell us what our next episode is?
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in next week because we are talking about an equally epic, action-packed movie. We are talking about my favorite Stanley Lee. Fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. We're talking about my favorite.
Your favorite.
We're talking about my favorite Stanley Kubrick movie, Barry Lyndon. We're talking about my favorite Stanley Kubrick movie, Matt Damon.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
Stanley Kubrick's The Martian.
Stanley Kubrick's The Martian. Tune in next time for that. And until then, insert Bond pun here.
And I thought Christmas only came once a year.
There we go. Bye.
The password is Milkers.